Hey everyone, thanks for being here. It's springtime and the Harley demo trucks are out and about making their weekend stops so that riders can check out the various Harley models. I have 10 Harley dealerships within an hour's drive of my house without traffic. That is crazy. In this area of the country, they're almost like Walmarts, at least one in every city. Only 3 of them out of those 10 are doing Harley demo weekends this spring. Depending on the weather and my schedule, I'm going to try to get to 2 of them. Unfortunately, the one I really want to go to is on Mother's Day weekend, and my schedule is fully booked that weekend at this point. A couple of notes on these demo weekends. First, they didn't let me put my Insta360 camera on the bikes during the ride, calling it a distraction. No camera mounts allowed on the bikes, so I had to resort to my crappy old helmet cam. Second is that when you're a rider with at least some level of experience, these rides can be a challenge depending on the other riders in front of you. Some of them can be quite new and are still afraid of the bikes or are a little unsure of themselves, which can slow things down. Part of that is because you're riding different styles of bikes. Some have mid controls, some have forward controls, a couple of them have heel toe shifters. On some of them the clutch engages right away, and on others it doesn't engage until it's almost fully released. So it can be challenging to go from bike to bike. Each one has a different feel to it. Let's talk about the bikes that are available to ride this year on the demo weekends. We have the Nightster Special, the Sportster S, the Pan America Special and CVO Pan America, the Street Bob, the Fat Boy, Lowrider S and Lowrider ST, the Breakout, the Heritage Classic, the Road King Special, the Street Glide, the Road Glide, Road Glide Limited, Ultra Limited, CVO Street Glide, CVO Road Glide ST, and the Road Glide 3 Trike. Here in Pennsylvania, 3-wheel motorbikes require a special license, so the Road Glide 3 was set aside in case anyone with a 3-wheeled license would come in and want to try it. The bikes that are not in the lineup are the Nightster, the Softail Standard, the CVO Road Glide, the Freewheeler and Tri-Glide Ultra Trikes, and of course the Hydra Glide, which is the special bike for the year. That's it for the introductory stuff. Let's get to the ride. So here I am on the first Harley demo weekend in my area. And of course, being a touring bike rider, the first bike I jumped on was the Road Glide Standard. The primary reason I wanted to ride the Road Glide Standard was truly for the sake of research. I have been intrigued by the tall handlebars on the 2024 Road Glide and wanted to see if that would sway me over to wanting a Road Glide for my next bike. Up until now, in all the test rides I've done on Road Glides, I have not been a big fan. I don't really like the look of the shark-nosed fairing, but it's not just that. The Road Glides weigh almost 30 pounds more than the Street Glides because of the fairing, so all that extra weight is in the top front of the bike at the fairing. For me, this makes the bike feel unbalanced and is more difficult to handle at slow speeds, mostly when coming to a stop or in stop-and-go traffic. I know that if I bought a Road Glide, I would get used to it and adjust my riding to accommodate the extra weight up front, but still, so far, I haven't had a desire to do that. I didn't expect that the tall handlebars would fix that issue for me on the new Road Glide, but I do like tall handlebars, so decided to give it a try. I also rode the CVO Road Glide ST, which doesn't have the tall bars on it, so we're going to compare those 2 rides here. First, let's do a quick review of the specs. You can see the full specs in my 2024 lineup video here. The Road Glide Standard has the 117 engine with 130 foot-pounds of torque and 105 horsepower and weighs about 840 pounds. The ST has a 121 engine, which is retuned with 145 foot-pounds of torque and 127 horsepower. Despite the heavier engine, it also weighs about 840 pounds due to having some carbon fiber in certain places to bring the weight down. They both have all the rider safety enhancements, riding modes, etc. So here's the real kicker when comparing these rides. The Road Glide Standard that they have available on this particular demo truck has a tour pack on the back, which brings the weight up about 50 pounds, putting this bike between 880 and 900 pounds. It's not quite at the same level as the Road Glide Limited, which has the extra speakers and the hard shell lowers on it, but it's not that far off. That one weighs 930. I was a little nervous when I found out that the Road Glide Standard had the tour pack on it. I've never ridden a bike with a tour pack before, or one that's that heavy, so I was feeling a little uncertain, but I decided to go for it anyway. I was actually pleasantly surprised. I found that the Road Glide Standard with the tour pack for me was easier to handle than the Road Glide ST when it came to slow speeds. It almost seems like the extra weight of the tour pack on the back balanced out the extra weight of the frame mounted fairing on the front. I would have thought that having the extra top heavy weight on both front and back would have made it really top heavy so that it would have been even more difficult to handle, but that wasn't my experience. I found the Road Glide Standard with the tour pack a bit more enjoyable ride than I did the CVO Road Glide ST in terms of balance and stability. Don't get me wrong, I did enjoy the Road Glide ST. I decided to put it into sport mode for part of the ride, and man, that thing has a ton of get up and go. I did notice a significant improvement in wind management on these bikes over my Street Glide. Even with the flared windshield on my Street Glide, I get a little bit of head bobble once I hit about 75 miles per hour. I topped out about 75, between 75 and 80 on these test rides and had no head bobble at all. I did have a little bit of a wind whistle in my helmet, more than what I have on my Street Glide, but no head bobble. So the wind management is really good on these bikes, and that is definitely one of the selling points that they will tell you at the dealership. So, did the new Road Glides sway me over to them versus the Street Glides for my next bike? Not yet. I really like the tall bars on the 2024 Road Glide Standard, but I still don't like how front heavy the frame mounted fairing is. In 5 or 6 years, when I'm ready to replace my Street Glide and the prices of these bikes have come down enough to make them affordable, I'll definitely do a side-by-side comparison again to see which one I want. But for the most part, well done Harley. Other than the high prices on these bikes, these are both really good bikes. If you have the money and want serious performance, the CVO Road Glide ST is a phenomenal choice. If you do a lot of day-long or multi-day trips, the Road Glide Standard is also a great choice. So that is it for this ride. Stay tuned, there's more coming up. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like. See you on the next one.